Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I have Arun with me. Arun read an article and he has many questions related to that article, and we would like to know why RBI is doing these things. So without wasting much time, let Arun explain the article, then we'll try and understand why RBI is doing this.
The article is RBI wants banks and NBFCs to make climate risk disclosures. So, what does RBI have to do with climate risk? It's not like a factory causing pollution to the environment. So, why is RBI saying this?
Okay. They're not saying declare that. If you notice, they're saying climate risk disclosure. So climate risk is, what is climate? Weather.
Yeah.
Weather is changing. If you've been following the news for some time, you'll know something like climate change is happening. Like Chennai is having more floods.
Yeah.
Summers are more intense. Right? So this has a knock-on effect on everything in our society, including in rural areas, crop failing, floods damaging crops, and summer, not enough water that happens. Then in urban areas, water scarcity, floods, these things in urban areas also it's happening. So a bank does what? It borrows money from the depositors and is lending.
Yeah.
So bank is an intermediary of finance. So finance will definitely have an impact because of climate change. So RBI is trying to look forward, saying that climate change is happening. It is real. He's saying, let us get ahead of this before we wake up later, and telling banks, do some assessment. Banks, non-traditional NBFCs, everybody is saying, go through your banking system and see where is climate change going to have an impact for you. What are the risks, right? Take top down and full view and say, come back to us and tell us where are your problems going to be. Not only in rural areas, in urban areas, wherever, how is it going to affect you? And even going down to the level of urban cooperative banks. So this main thing is they're trying to do is they're trying to get ahead of this problem. This climate related financial risks which are going to come. And what opportunities are going to come out of this. And what they need to do in terms of policy and mandates they need to promote to keep this in mind and keep sure our financial institutions, our banks, stay resilient during this climate change period in humanity. Because till we figure out how to stop emitting these greenhouse gases and start taking a grip on this climate change and start seeing some changes there, it is pretty much spiraling out of control, climate change. Recently, also yesterday, I saw an Africa heat map. Most temperatures are going well above 40 now, 44, 45 degrees.
That's become an average temperature now.
Yeah, and that is very, very high. A human being will find it very hard to survive in those conditions without air conditioning and other modern amenities which we take for granted nowadays. So this knock-on effect is going to be huge. So banks need to think about this, and I think most banks would have already started thinking about it. It is nice to see the RBI also acknowledging this. But where will this actually take us, and will this just be some PR stunt? We'll have to wait and watch. Because many times we have seen government agencies and non-government agencies talk about climate change and doing this and that, but nothing has come out of it. We make all kinds of promises. Things that do not hurt us immediately, we try to postpone it. Like US debt. As long as they can keep printing dollars and everyone's taking their world currency, they keep printing. Same is true with climate change. I remember when I used to be a small kid, when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, we used to talk about climate change. And that was, almost 35 years ago. And we're still talking about climate change to do something. From back then, we've been talking, world is getting
So it has been the topic of discussion in every generation.
And what are we humans doing? I really don't know. And it's becoming acute. There's two types of risks. One is acute risks, which is immediate, like floods, hurricanes, wildfires. The other is long-term risks, which are known as chronic risks, which are going to affect us long-term. Like decreased fresh water, damage to tropical coastlines. These are going to be there for a very long time. Maps are going to be redrawn. So, like Maldives famously came to the UN, the president of Maldives, and he went underwater and he signed one accord and he made one. Think about it. This happened 4 or 5 years before the pandemic, saying this island itself will disappear if water levels rise. Still, we haven't done anything. And we're busy fighting over, I don't know what. Like what you're seeing, Russia, Ukraine. Palestine, Israel. We have bigger problems than some border dispute, than some land dispute. Yes, I'm not trying to say it's not important. It is important. But we have bigger problems.
Yeah.
I would suggest we first fix the bigger problems, then worry about the other historical issues. And there's also, in terms of banks, when it comes to this, they have other issues. Banks have legal obligations. So these legal obligations were written at a time when we did not have climate change. What banks have to agree to and what they have to be honoring. So with climate risk the way it is, do those obligations and mandates make sense now? RBI is taking a call on it because we need to keep our banks liquid and we need to be in business. So that's another thing. Then there's a big shift in happening with green technology.
Like in EVs.
Yeah, EVs.
More and more electric cars are being introduced into the market.
And windmills, solar power. So all this is coming. So are there opportunities there for banks and finance? What are the opportunities there? What are the risks in that? There's a big mandate in the Indian government now to make India green. Our government has pushed that. In the last budget, they spoke about it, spending heavily on green technologies. So that is an opportunity for financial institutions to get into that, to finance these things. So, but what are the risks involved in this new technology? Because some of these technologies are not proven, right? So, what are the imminent risks in this financing these kind of projects? So, RBI is trying to take a wide call on it. So, once it looks at the wide call and all these banks report back and they give their reports, then RBI might look at it and do something, but I don't really think anything will come out of it. It's just nice PR stunt and make RBI look like it's doing things. It's like my father says, it's a bunch of mafa, which is mistaken activity for action. This is all, nice talk. Fill up those empty spaces. And what we and you are doing for this podcast today, we're filling up one podcast with some faff. What's going to come out of it? Nothing.
So we should really see the news like RBI is increasing or decreasing the interest rate and announcing the banks what to do.
No, but see, all that doesn't matter. Even there, Arun, I know you started looking at news. This is new to you. So I completely get it. That's why I don't mind talking about it. Because you read something, you had a lot of questions. I'm answering those questions. Wonderful. But now you've been doing it for some time. You need to focus on, there's a list of companies you're investing, right? So you should only read news about that.
Okay. But RBI and the climate risk disclosure news was new to me, so I asked.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't mind answering it. But as an investor, long term, all that put together, this is of no value to you right now.
Okay.
Unless you are into green technologies or you're into banks which are into green technologies. And at least if there's something coming out of it, other than just sitting and having one discussion, RBI is not doing anything. They're not given any mandate. They're not given any direction. Basically telling banks, go and find out and come back.
That's it. Okay.
It's like the father sitting in the house. He hears some noise on the street. So he tells the son, hey, go put your head out of the balcony and see what is happening. So he'll put his head out on the balcony and come back and say, Dad, some two guys are arguing. Two drunkards are arguing. It's literally like that. So, I don't know. If anything comes out of it, I'll be happy. If the government actually does something, RBI does something to address climate change, will be great. The problem is, India alone cannot do this. It has to be a global effort. And right now, there is no tolerance for anything coordinated globally. Right now, global effort is a bad word. Every human being right now is concentrated on me, my country, mine. So to think of this planet as one whole planet, which is our planet, right now humanity doesn't seem to have the appetite for it.
Okay.
I don't see us getting together to do anything right now. Anyway, thanks for watching the podcast, guys. I hope you found it entertaining and informative as always. And me and Arun will see you in the next one soon. Bye.
Thank you.